It's Good Morning Anambra show, and we're delighted to be here. Thank you so much for being there for ABS. And this morning on the show, we'll be looking at the topic that says revitalizing school library system in Nigeria, the way forward. We know that before now, library has been one thing that you cannot do without. As a student, you will always be advised to go and do one or two researches in the library or do one or two assignments in the library before you come back to school. But today we're going to look at this and see how effective our libraries are today, and of course if there are things that needed to be done to revitalize it as the case may be. My name is Nonye Mokoye, and I'm here with my colleague.
Good morning, Anambarians and viewers all over the world. Stay tuned and get really, informed with what you have for you this morning.
All right, in the studio we have guests that have joined us, Nkechi Udeze, PhD, who is the former director, Anambra State Library Services. Good to have you.
Good morning, our viewers.
Ever smiling Nkechi, welcome.
I'm happy for you to have me this morning.
All right, you're welcome. We also have Ngozi Osuchukwu, also PhD. He's a lecturer, Department of Library and Information Science, UNIZIK, Oka. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, let's begin with you, the great librarian, Nkechi. When we talk about revitalizing of the school library, what does that actually mean in the context of what we are doing today?
Yes, something of revitalizing. It then means that it is not the way it is supposed to be. And therefore you have to do something for you to put it right. The modern school library today is not what we have in most of the libraries. If you visit our school libraries, you can see that some of them are in a room like a store, and the books are not organized, and the activities, no space for library activities for children. The modern school library today is supposed to have space, where so many things are supposed to be done. Those things that will attract children, students, pupils to visit the library and do one or two things. So as we are talking about revitalizing today, it means that something has to be done, and this has to be urgent. Because if you look at our school system today, all of us are aware of what is happening there. We are aware, and we have to do something to change the system so that it will be in a particular way that it's supposed to be.
Down what's revitalizing. So now, what do you think has gone wrong for the library system to now need revitalization?
You see, when you have a round peg in a square hole, what do you expect? The people that are supposed to be there to carry out the functions of the library, providing material and services, are not there. Librarians are supposed to be in the libraries. And you bring in somebody that is not a librarian, somebody that doesn't know anything about the library, somebody that cannot impact in children for them to imbibe good reading culture. When you employ the person and assign the person to be in the library, the person will not know the right thing to do to attract users, that's students, to the library. So our libraries of today, the school libraries of today, they are all supposed to be manned by librarian. And when I mean librarian, somebody that studied librarianship. Yes. And we have so many of them today.
Okay, I think we'll still get to that when we begin to prefer solution to what could be done in revitalizing the school library. Well now, because let me come to you. We know that before now, our schools, in virtually all the schools, we have libraries. And sometimes students are given assignments to go to the library that will require them using the library. But you will agree that today it's no longer the same in most of our schools. Let me not say every school, but most of our schools, it's no longer there. Now, and as we are talking about revitalizing our schools, do you think the private schools will be happy with this issue or this topic of discussion, since we all know that they sell books and they even to the exercise books, they sell everything in their school? Do you think they will be happy with what we are saying today, the private schools?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. Yes, I will say that the private schools, they also want to support the school libraries. In fact, let me be frank with you. When we did evaluation of school libraries, we found out that the libraries in private schools are much better than the ones in public schools. Yes, I must be frank. Many private schools have, well, let me not say functional, but semi-functional libraries, unlike the government schools. I've been around, I've been in some government schools where what they termed the school library is nothing to write home about. But in private schools, you will see multimedia center. In fact, that is what it is called today. The school library is now known as multimedia resource center, because you know today it's not just about books. Don't talk about books today alone, physical books I mean. Today you talk about e-books because of ICT and other electronic devices that we have incorporated in today's learning. Just as SDG 4 says, equitable quality education. And that is what the society or what our country should be aiming at. That is UN 2030. We are in 2017 now. It's supposed to be, how many years? We are in 2022 now. How many years do we have to 2030? And SDG, are we getting closer? Are we taking ourselves back from SDG? So I will say, even though the private schools sell books to students, they have their reasons. I'm sure they have their reasons for doing that. But their libraries are more equipped, well equipped than private libraries. Yes, and in those private schools, when they give assignments to children that still send them to the library, even to the internet, because just like I said earlier, you can do your research online. But then, let me just give a little difference between internet and the library. You know, internet, for instance, when you put in a word or a sentence in URL to give you answers, it may come up with 1 million thousands of answers for you. Then you have a hard time choosing the best. Within libraries, these are organized in databases. That is why they say internet may give you 1 million answers, but the library will give you the correct one. Because databases choose only those relevant resources that should be used. And that is why they say that librarians have souls, unlike the internet that doesn't have soul. Yes, librarian knows what you are looking for and they organize those things for you. Unlike the internet that will give you hundreds, thousands. Assuming you are in a cyber cafe and you bought maybe 2 hours ticket. Within that 2 hours, you've got nothing. Yes, you pay again for another 2 hours. But in the library, the database is there. It will give you what you want. So I'm still insisting that the private schools, they value the use of libraries because they know what it means.
I'm glad to hear that anyway.
We are coming from you. Secondly, since you guys are an organized entity as in librarians, you understand, do you guys have a monitoring team that instill that each school should have appropriate librarians assigned to them? Maybe periodically checking to make sure that those libraries for those children are functional. Do you guys have anything so as to, based on this, your NDGG 2030 stuff you talk about, rather than Nigeria to be backward, so that we should be moving at pace with other world?
All right, thank you so much. You know, ours is a professional organization.
Yeah.
We have our limits.
Okay.
Yes, there was a time we organized training for teacher librarians. That's what they are called in in school libraries.
Okay.
Teacher librarians. But then the teacher librarian is supposed to be a professional, someone that read library and information science. But what we have in most schools today, we have maybe an English teacher or literature teacher or whatever, and they will assign the teacher to be in the library. The teacher will not be called teacher librarian. She doesn't have any training, no background, nothing. When she goes to class, the library closes. When she goes on maternity, the library closes. During a teacher's meeting and all that, the library closes. You see that nothing goes on there. So there was a time we tried to give them basic, basic training on what to do in the libraries. We tried. Just like you said, yes, from time to time, we go on evaluation and things are not getting better. Especially in government schools. I must say that I'm sorry if I don't know. Yes, because they will tell you that this teacher is employed to teach first. And basically that is the teacher's role, primarily, not for the library. So you don't expect him or her to leave his or her primary role to be doing something else. So they are right. Yes. Even when librarians are employed, they will give that librarian a full class instead of assigning that librarian to be in the library. They will still give him or her full class, just like any other teacher.
Okay, now, let me get it. Do you think this is happening due to lack of proper orientation to some schools? Because I know that some of you are retiring now, and some of the things you knew may not be handed down to people that are coming up. So do you think there is a gap in maybe nurturing the younger ones that when they come up, they know the need? Do you think that's why this is happening in our schools?
You see, the thing is the value. What value do we place on library? What value do we place on library? At times when I was in the library, there are certain questions or certain needs. I will now ask the users, have you ever asked government to do this for the library? You see people advocating for other things. Nobody advocates for library. And what is happening in our society today about exams, both in secondary and university, is because we did not place the right value on the library. If we have done that, children would have had confidence when they are about to do any exam. As for the school library, there is something that the National Library started for over 10 years, trying to get data that will show the schools that employed librarians. Because there is education policy on school libraries, 1977 I think, that every school library should be manned by a librarian. It is only Bauchi State that is closer to it. Because when we went for one conference, they said they have 90-something librarians in their system, in the public library. I now asked them, where are they working? They said in school libraries, graduates. And they are paying them. We have librarians, we have salary structure.
Okay.
We are not supposed to be...
It's not the same with civil service.
Yes,
okay.
but many states
are not
refuse to do
implementing
that, except that Bauchi.
Okay.
So you can see that they are ahead of other states when it comes to employing librarians and librarians working in their library. So here, because we don't place value on where we're supposed to place value, the library is like that. And as year goes on, it continues to diminish. We still go. We still go for what we call RPC from the public library.
RPC, which is?
Leadership Promotion Campaign.
Okay.
If you visit the school libraries, you will see that some of them unkept, dust everywhere. There was one we visited. The teacher librarian was panicking and panicking. I said, no, we are not here to kill you. We are just here to advise you on what to do. Arranging the books. The books are not catalogued. These are the things that they can ask the organizations or the public library to help them. If you write to them, they can come and do technical services for you, like cataloging your books. They can do it because we have professionals that can go there, just like some communities that have library, but they don't have professionals. When they write to us, we go there, catalog the books for them, and then help them from time to time for them to render required services to your users. Everything is valid.
Okay, you want to add something?
Yes, let me add something. You know, when we talk about libraries, what comes to mind is books. But library is not about books. It's about information and knowledge. Because people will be like, is it not, can't I go to internet and get what I want and this and that? No. That is why we are insisting on school libraries. Because in the school libraries, children are taught rather on reading culture, reading fluency and accuracy, spelling bees, reading comprehension. These are the things that are taught. And these are the things that build one up to face any academic challenges anywhere in the world. It will keep the child at par, which is our counterparts anywhere in the world. When you know how to read fluently and accurately, when you can understand a simple message and answer to that, I mean, it can set you apart from every other. It can take you out of the mediocrity. You know, these are the things that are taught in the library, not just books. And again, with ICT, you are now taught how to do online searches, graphics. These are taught in the school libraries. That is why it is called Multimedia Resource Center, because there you see ICT, even projector and all that. You'll be taught how to do your slides, how to use computer, projector and other things.
Lady Ngozi, as a student, I equally used the library, both in tertiary and in secondary school. You understand? How does the library teach you, as in how to pronounce words correctly, how to read accurately, just like you...
Yes.
No. Just like you said, you understand?
Okay.
Then what is the job of your teacher in school?
No. Library is everything. It's more than school.
No. I'm talking because
I understand.
Going to library, as far as I know, back then was to go and research.
That was then. Let me
okay,
tell
you guys have upgraded now.
Yes, let me tell you how the library helps you to read fluently.
And accurately.
Yes, that is the job of the school librarian. If the person is a professional, that is his job there.
Is the library not meant to be a quiet place? You just
it's no longer a quiet. It's no longer a place where I say shh. No. Right now in the library, you make
very,
noise,
very dynamic.
because there's what we call maker spaces in the library.
Yes.
Even dancing lesson goes on in the library. Yes. Musical instruments, sewing, everything. We call it maker space. In the library, there is a place called maker space.
We have it here.
We are people who learn how to dance. Even in public library here, the one in Kennedy, they do sewing, bakery, and all that.
Hat making.
It's not about reading anymore.
Okay, a lot has
yes. So they teach how to do that reading, especially on Saturdays. We call it Story Hour program. On Saturdays, children are advised to go to the library. Even here, I was here one day, I was surprised. I'm still talking about private school. One teacher from private school, they chartered a small bus, brought their children to the library. What did you teach them? How to read right, fluency, accuracy. At the end of the day, we tested them. It's not a one-day thing. But they keep improving. You see them pronouncing words very well. Learn how to answer comprehension questions.
At this point, we shall go for a short break. When we return, we'll talk more on the newest trend or latest trend in libraries and more. on Good Morning Anambra show. We take a short break. Let's feel the pulse of the masses. We'll be right back.
At tertiary institution, people can, they are grown-up men, they can take decisions. But for secondary schools and primary schools, the school libraries are supposed to be well equipped with books that will attract them. Because first thing is to get things that will attract them at that age, what will appeal to them. Then you need to have teachers who will always refer them to the library to do their homework. With that, they develop the culture of going to the library. So as far as I'm concerned, you don't need to overemphasize it. The school libraries are very necessary. The governors, the ministers of education, commissioner of education, even the missionaries who have schools should do everything to ensure that their libraries are well equipped.
The schools that have library need to be taken good care of. For example, you might visit our school libraries. When you go there, you will not find the necessary books needed for the students to read. Thereby, it's making them difficult to go inside the school library. They prefer to go outside where they can get whatever they want. Government on their own side have an important role to play. One, they need to equip our libraries with necessary books. Secondly, they need to employ those that read library and information in all our higher institutions. Not any ordinary teacher that can manage a library. If you don't have the idea of library, there is no how you will handle that particular library safe. So in other ways, government needs to employ those people that read library and information science because they are in a better position to help put everything in order so that the student will feel comfortable whenever they enter our library.
This is the jet age. Like there's something in our school we call it Gen Z. In Gen Z world, you have to digitalize their way of reading. Children are now accustomed to programs, handsets, what they can press and what they can view in form of cartoons and videos. So I think now the libraries are supposed to be digitalized, and it has to start with the school libraries. If the school libraries are digitalized, if the reading culture is again being motivated in schools, I think children will come back to that the culture of reading. If the school libraries are well equipped and if the children are encouraged to use the school libraries, then using the state central library will not be a problem.
Libraries in our schools must have some people to look after them. These will be trained librarians. Now, whereby there is no library in the school, surely the students won't learn. When they don't learn, nothing happens. So I think reading, whether in the main library or in the schools, will be looked into by the appropriate curriculum planners, both in the ministries, even home people, your parents, our parents, are equally interested in making sure that their children read the right type of books.
In foreign countries, the issue of libraries is not a problem because most people have access to a wide range of books and libraries, ranging from historical books to the topics in which the person is studying. But here in Nigeria, the case is not different. It's not only in Anambra state, but in other states as well. The libraries are not working as they are supposed to work. So the best thing for the government to do is to ensure that this state has a functional library that has a wide range of books. Without the library systems in the schools, the students' level of academic performance will not be optimal, so to speak. They need to have access to books. Nnamdi Azikiwe University is a federal government institution. It's not a state government institution. So if they want to have a library system in the country and as well as in the state, they should involve the federal government as well as the state government.
Okay, welcome back to the studio. We've heard what the people say, but I think we are going to keep it pending towards the end of our discussion. We're going to bring it up again, so that we use it to conclude the program, because most of them actually spoke on or suggested things to be done for effective use of our school libraries. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. But the question I was asking was about the innovations, you understand, because there is no better platform to make people know. Because during the last holiday, I took my kids and registered them in the Kenneth Dickey Library, you understand. Unfortunately, there was no time to actually visit there to do anything per se. But I was kind of interested in what Lady Ngozi was saying about the innovation, so that probably when the next holiday comes, I'll be looking forward to that. And other parents too will be looking forward to taking their kids there.
Just send them there. And you didn't allow them to use it. Every long vacation, because we know that children usually stay idle in some homes. And we know that skills are important at this point in time, whether you're in primary school, secondary, university. So we have makerspace. You know what you want. Do you want to know how to sew, how to bake, how to make hats? And if beads, and if there is any other skill you want, you can just say, this is what we want to learn. If we don't have somebody that, because there's some of these things, you know, I told my staff for them to go and learn. Some of them I supported. So, like somebody that went and learned on phonetics, but the person is in Onitsha. We sponsored the person so that she will be helping children on pronunciation of words. So if you point out the particular skill you want and we don't have, we can employ somebody that will do it. It keeps children busy. Okay. It keeps them busy. We started that in a small scale, 2017. But 2021, we enlarged it. And we do it in all the libraries, both the ones in the villages, and it thrilled parents. Visiting the library for that alone made them to start using the library.
Okay, no, I don't know. We know that there was a gap, you know, I think, what do you think we have lost over the years as a people, you know, for not using the library effectively as we should?
It is clear. Everybody that is watching us now know where we have degenerated in terms of examinations. It is very clear, and it is disheartening. And my heart bleeds anytime I listen to children that are doing, the period they are doing their WAEC, especially the poor ones. This year, I was around at a particular spot where I saw a girl selling okpa, telling the other child that she said she will pay 7,000. That one said, you know that it is when you pay it that your name will be included in the WhatsApp. I said, please, can I sit close to you? She said, yes. Then after that, I now asked her, what happens? After telling the story, I said, do you know that you are being destroyed? If you score AA in mathematics, can you teach a child in primary school mathematics? She turned and started looking at me. Said, they are destroying you people. If the school library is well equipped and they start using the library at primary school, a child that starts using the library at primary school, during the secondary school period, you are the one that will be begging the child, please, do your house chores, please, before you go on to start your studies. You are the one.
You'll be so used to
yes, the child will be attached. There was a child, one Saturday, the dad told me, please, my daughter was sad last weekend because I wasn't around to take her to the library. Please, can you help me today? I said, with all pleasure. If you see this girl, when we had our spelling bee, a child in primary 3 competed with pupils above her class, and she made it. In Bible good reading culture, at a very early stage, is the duty of the school library The school library. The person that is a librarian that is working in the school library, we know the right thing to do. I read library science not because I want to read it, study it. I wanted to study mass communication. But when I worked in the library as a library assistant, I saw this zeal in children reading and you begging them to stop reading. I say, oh, this is what I will do. Because I know that once you introduce this child to reading, the child will not go out.
Okay, quickly, because of our time, I think it's time we bring in the Vox Pop now, in suggesting ways, to revitalize the school libraries.
Okay,
maybe from the state government, from philanthropists, whoever that can
From the state
help.
government, we are still advocating and soliciting that professionals, librarians should be in the school libraries. They will help to restructure, yes. I think there was a time, not this dispensation, when schools were given some funds for development of, I think it's still on. All the headmistress, principals, they are given money to, develop their libraries. I think it's done every year. I don't remember.
Every school.
But you will see, because there was no supervision, some of them did not do it. But this fund was always given
Made
out.
available.
Yes, for them to be doing that. But many of them did not do it because nobody supervises them. Things like that, it needs supervision. Then parents also should be taking their children to library. When you go, don't just drop your child and go. Look for whoever that is in charge. Ask the person, what does this place have to offer? Ask. You can even suggest to that person. Yes, you don't just take your child, just like taking your child to school. You don't just take your child to school without finding out from the teachers, how are you doing this? My child is not learning, Ask questions, because it is a learning ground. Ask. Then from others, there should be support from everyone. Look at our communities. There are communities that have libraries. There is one in Adaze, Bosse, where again? Mpologu. Some, town unions, they help in sustaining the libraries in their communities. Some of them donate books. To imagine if every man in the community donates two books. Imagine the level, the extent of books the community library will have. Or if a town union, maybe Lagos branch or Abuja branch, donates computer. Simple things that won't cost much from us. These are the things that add value. If people start doing this for their community libraries, you will see how knowledge, how literacy will be developed, without much cost. Just like the governor said the other day, you don't wait for the government to do everything for you. Otherwise, you won't have anything. Just like we dig our boreholes, develop our roads and that, we can develop our community libraries for our own community children.
Okay. And again, the library, the face of the library, they have to change it.
Yes.
To be attractive. How? They have to change this. School, if you see, there are libraries you will see. Very colorful. Very, very colorful. Yes, not only brown things.
And even prior to this topic, when this topic was selected, I did my own little internet research and everything. And I discovered that in some developed worlds, library is where you go to get your free Wi-Fi and then make access, do your research. So I don't know if that's going to be possible.
It depends on government.
If each library could have the internet area whereby free Wi-Fi, you go there, you do your research.
Our former commissioner, that was what he was advocating for. We have cloud library here, but he wants the one that everybody in the state will use, and it will be free. But it depends on whether the present people will carry it on. But what I'm saying about school library is that what we have today as school library is not a library. They have to change the face and they have to provide maker space, they have to provide computers, they have to provide even where children can take little things.
All right, we can go on and on, but let me quickly let our schools know that these two professionals in the studio can really help you to revitalize your libraries if you contact them. Thank you so much. Mrs. Ngozi Ostuchuku for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lady Kechi, for being here.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to have, for all of us to have talked about this.
All right. Welcome.
Well, I've learned a whole lot, you understand? I'm sure viewers out there that watch definitely learned a whole lot. And I'm sure to take something home. Thank you so much.
And that's just about it. Government, please come to the rescue of our state libraries that may function effectively. My name is Nonya Mokoye. Till tomorrow. Bye for now.